Before the Roman Empire mastered the sword, it mastered something far more powerful. The crowd in the Middle Ages, power wore, armor, and wisdom carried ink. Empires rose beneath cathedral vaults. Ideas traveled through monasteries and universities, and history was written not only by kings, but by thinkers, rebels, and believers. Welcome to Medieval Chronicles. Before the first sword was drawn, before the crowd erupted in thunderous applause, ancient Rome had already discovered one of the most powerful political tools in history. Not fear, not laws, but spectacle. Imagine standing among 50,000 spectators beneath the towering arches of the Colosseum. The Mediterranean sun burns overhead. Dust drifts across the arena floor. The air trembles with anticipation. Then suddenly, the gates open. A gladiator steps into the arena, shield raised, sword catching the light. Across the sand, another warrior waits. High above them all, seated in marble and shadow, sits the Emperor of Rome. The crowd roars. To them, this is entertainment, a moment of thrill, a taste of danger. But to the rulers of Rome, this spectacle serves a very different purpose, because the Colosseum was never just an arena. It was a machine designed to captivate the masses, to command their attention, and to shape the politics of an empire. Nearly 2,000 years ago, Rome perfected a strategy that still echoes through the world today. The Romans called it bread and Circuses. Yet the story of the Colosseum does not begin with gladiators. It begins with an emperor whose ambition nearly consumed Rome itself. In the year 64 AD, disaster struck the city. A great fire erupted and raged for days. Flames devoured entire neighborhoods. Wooden houses collapsed into the streets. Smoke covered the sky as thousands of citizens fled for their lives. When the fire finally ended, vast sections of Rome had been reduced to ash. And in the heart of the ruined city, Emperor Nero began to build something extraordinary. He constructed an immense palace complex known as the Domus Aurea, the Golden House. It was not merely a residence, it was a private world. Gardens stretched across the hills, halls glittered with gold and marble, and at its center lay something astonishing, an enormous artificial lake where homes and streets once stood. Nero had created a personal paradise to many Romans. It was a symbol of everything that had gone wrong. An emperor surrounded by luxury, while the people struggled beyond the palace gates. When Nero eventually fell from power, Rome stood at a turning point. The new emperor, Vespasian, understood something crucial. The empire needed more than stability. It needed trust. So he made a remarkable decision. Nero's lake would be drained, and in its place, something entirely new would rise. Not a palace for an emperor, but a monument for the people. The result was one of the most astonishing structures ever built in the ancient world. The Flavian Amphitheater. Today, we know it as the Colosseum. It towered above the city, with 4 levels of arches and stone. Inside, more than 50,000 spectators could gather when the arena was inaugurated under Emperor Titus. The celebrations lasted 100 days. The games that followed were unlike anything Rome had ever seen. Gladiators fought in brutal duels before roaring crowds. Hunters battled exotic animals brought from the farthest corners of the empire. Lions from Africa, tigers from the east, bears from distant forests, even elephants marched across the arena floor. The spectacle was relentless. Beneath the sand lay the hidden machinery of the arena, a vast underground network known as the Hypogeum. There, Cages held animals. Gladiators waited in darkness. Workers operated lifts and trapped. With sudden mechanical precision, fighters and beasts could rise into the arena as if appearing from nowhere. To the crowd above, it felt like magic, but every moment of that spectacle had been carefully designed because the arena served a deeper purpose. It united the crowd. It captured their attention, and it reminded them that the empire could provide something extraordinary. Around this time, a Roman poet named Juvenal observed something troubling about the society around him. In his writings, he described how the citizens of Rome had gradually surrendered their political voice. Once, they had demanded participation in the affairs of the Republic, but now they seemed satisfied with far less. All they desired, Juvenal wrote, were two things: bread and circuses. The government distributed free grain to the population, food for the body, and the arena provided endless entertainment, food for the mind. Together, they formed a powerful strategy. As long as the people were fed, and as long as they were entertained, their attention rarely turned toward the deeper questions of power. Who governed the empire? How decisions were made? Or whose interests were truly being served? The crowds filled the Colosseum again and again, cheering, laughing, forgetting. Meanwhile, the machinery of the empire continued turning behind the scenes. But even the greatest spectacles cannot last forever. Over time, the gladiator games began to fade. Rome itself was changing. Political crises multiplied. Economic troubles deepened. The empire that once dominated the Mediterranean slowly transformed. Eventually, the arena fell silent. The crowds disappeared. The sand no longer echoed with the clash of swords. The Colosseum became a monument to a vanished world. Its stones, weathered by centuries of wind and rain, its arches broken by earthquakes and time. Yet the structure never truly disappeared. Today, millions of visitors walk among its ruins. They admire the architecture. They imagine the roar of ancient crowds. They stand where emperors once watched the spectacle unfold. For centuries, the Colosseum echoed with the thunder of human voices. Gladiators fought, emperors ruled, and the people watched. Today, the arena stands in silence, its stones worn by time, its sand long since carried away by the wind. But the idea that once filled this place never truly disappeared. Nearly 2,000 years ago, Rome discovered something powerful about human nature. Give the people spectacle, give them distraction, and they may never look beyond the arena. The empire that built the Colosseum is gone, but the question it leaves behind still remains. When the crowd is watching the spectacle, who is watching power